let's move over to the, not the heavyweight division. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself there. We're going to be talking about a women's flyweight matchup here, probably a number one contender fight as well, between Natalia Silva and Rose Namajunas. You got Silva coming in as a big favorite at minus 410, going up against Rose Namajunas, who comes in at plus 310. Now, a lot of hype on Natalia Silva here, who's, I believe, been undefeated since coming into the UFC. She's looked very good. She's on a 13-fight winning streak, 7 of those wins coming inside the UFC, and none of these fights have really been that close, right? She knocked out Victoria Leonardo, had a good fight against Andrea Lee. I think Viviane Araújo had some good success in the first round of their fight in terms of her grappling, trying to keep Silva contained, but then Araújo started to fall off in terms of her efficiency, and Silva got back to her style that has made her so successful. She pretty much clean swept Alexa Grasso in her last matchup. You know, former champion Alexa Grasso, who's known to be a great striker, she couldn't get a beat on Natalia Silva, and Silva just did what she does best. She treads the cage very well, treads the distance very well, but blitzes the pocket enough that, you know, it's not a super boring style. It's still very fun to watch because she throws enough strikes and blitzes the pocket enough to catch her opponents off guard, land her 1-2 shots, maybe a head kick here and there, and then getting back out at distance. Where she will be challenged the most is against a grappler who can mix the striking game well enough to trick her into a takedown attempt and then try to muzzle her from that top position, just as we saw Viviane Araújo do in the first round of their matchup. But Silva does stay active off her back. She has some decent submissions off her back, but if she had it her way, it would be treading at distance, throwing big shots, throwing her blitz attacks, and just sticking and moving as best as possible, counter-striking as well. She's a very tough puzzle to crack, similar to Minofito, who really did a great job in terms of implementing her kickboxing style leading up to that fight against Valentina Shevchenko, and then she had no answer for Shevchenko, turning Fito into a grappler, if you guys remember that fight. But Silva's a little bit of a different style, not as much raw power as Fito, but I think that we'll still see Silva be very successful in terms of the style that she brings, good point fighting, good sticking and moving, and a developing grappling game as well. Now she's going up against former strawweight champion Rose Namajunas, who's coming off a big win over Miranda Maverick in her last matchup, but really trying to assert herself at flyweight still. You know, she came up short against Minofito. She had that win against Amanda Hebos and Tracy Cortez, who came in on short notice. She was looking good against Erin Blanchfield before Blanchfield started to pull away in the main event rounds there in rounds 4 and 5. But then she reminded everybody what she's capable of against Miranda Maverick. She's still a very sound striker, good counter striker, good movement there. But she's really developing that grappling game now where she can really just assert her dominance from that top position. You know, she does stay active enough from that top position that referees are not forced to stand up her fights. She stays active enough with her pitter-patter shots from top position, passes guard very well, but usually does a good job in terms of keeping opponents down. You know, the amount of championship level experience she's had earlier on in her career, it's crazy to think she's only 33, but you know, she was winning championships 10 years ago, or whatever it was 8 to 10 years ago, fighting Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you know, fighting Wali Zhang and all those fighters. You know, she's had some very good success in the past. You kind of think that she might be tapering off a little bit here, but there are still some styles that she can go out there and really muzzle. You know, the Hebos style, the Cortez style, the Maverick style. She was having good success against Blanchfield as well. So to see her here as a plus 310 dog against Natalia Silva is a little bit shocking to me. You know, I know a lot of people love to ride the hype and this long winning streak of a fighter, try to fade Rose, say that she's fallen off, but she's showing in recent fights that she can still be very competitive. Now, this is a similar fight to Namajunas against Fito, but I'm thinking the experience that Namajunas has accrued over the last couple of fights could kind of help her fight a mobile striking style like Silva brings to the table. You know, whether it's mixing in her takedowns. We saw the type of success Viviane Araújo had when she was able to get the takedown against Silva, but we know Namajunas has a better gas tank than Araújo as well, and she's a better striker. So she might be able to counter that mobile striking style of Silva a lot better and make this a much closer fight. So, you know, minus 410 Silva is whack. That is way too far out of whack. I am going to lean her in terms of a prediction. Obviously, over 2.5 would be a no-brainer here. I'd be surprised if either side gets a win or a finish, I should say. I think Silva outpoints her, But Rose is very live in this fight to at least squeeze out 2 of these rounds with takedowns, with forward pressure, cutting off the cage. She's very experienced. She's more than capable of pulling off the win here. So I'm going to go Silva by decision, but just by a notch, like just half a notch, which makes me think that Rose Namajunas at plus 310 might not be a bad betting opportunity, especially as a big underdog here. So again, official prediction will be Silva. But if you're going to bet this fight, I think you have to go with the Namajunas side.